All right, get ready for this. Imagine, for a second, digging deep into the frozen ground and finding something that's been asleep since the actual ice age. And then you wake it up. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this actually happened, and it might just hold the secret to something we humans have been searching for forever, a way to cheat death.
Just look at that number, 24,000. Let that sink in for a minute. It's a number so big, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around what it means.
Yeah, that's how long this tiny, microscopic creature was trapped, frozen solid in a state of suspended animation, about 11 feet deep in the Siberian permafrost. We're talking about the late Pleistocene epoch here, the age of woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Just wow.
So that's the big question, right? I mean, how did it possibly survive? Think about it. All those massive, fearsome animals from the Ice Age are long gone. But this little microscopic thing, it made it. How in the world did it do that? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
So let's meet our prehistoric survivor. Back in 2021, scientists didn't just find this thing, they actually thought it out, and it came right back to life.
Okay, here it is, the star of the show, the bedelloid rotifer. And listen, don't let that word microscopic fool you. This isn't some simple little bacteria. Oh no, this is a complex animal. It's got a brain, a gut, muscles, the whole shebang. It was literally around when the characters from Ice Age would have been. But the wildest part? When it thawed out, it didn't just wake up and stretch. It immediately started making copies of itself by cloning.
Okay, so we know what this thing is. Now for the really fun part, how did it pull off this impossible trick? Well, it turns out our little rotifer has a couple of amazing biological superpowers.
Its first secret weapon is something called cryptobiosis. Now, the easiest way to picture this is like hitting a pause button on life itself. When things get really, really bad, like being frozen solid for 24,000 years, the rotifer can pretty much just shut everything down. Its metabolism grinds to a near-complete halt. It's not dead, it's just paused. And this might sound totally alien, but you've actually seen a version of this in your own kitchen. Think about baker's yeast. If you leave it out on the counter, it's active, but it goes bad pretty quick. But what happens when you toss it in the freezer? Yep, it goes into a form of cryptobiosis. Its metabolism hits pause, which is why it lasts so much longer. The rotifer just takes that same idea to a level that is, frankly, mind-boggling.
But wait a second, freezing and thawing should cause a ton of damage, right? So how does it survive that? Well, that's where something called chaperone proteins come into play. You can think of them as tiny little bodyguards for the cells. See, when the body's under stress, essential proteins can get all bent out of shape or break down, which is actually a big part of aging and disease. These chaperone proteins, they jump in, protect the other proteins, and even help repair them. They're like a microscopic damage control crew.
But just hitting pause isn't its only trick. Not even close. The rotifer has another ability that is, if you can believe it, even more shocking. And it's a superpower that explains how it's managed to survive for millions of years. It's a little something called horizontal gene transfer. Okay, so forget everything you learned in biology class about passing genes from parent to kid. This little guy can literally steal useful genes from totally different organisms it finds nearby. We're talking about grabbing DNA from bacteria, from fungi, even from plants, and just stitching it right into its own genetic code. And we're not talking about some tiny little quirk here. Scientists have found that up to 10% of the rotifer's active genes can come from foreign DNA. Just think about that. 1/10 of its entire biological blueprint is just borrowed material from other species. It's incredible. Yeah, this spy analogy is perfect. It's like the rotifer is constantly scanning its surroundings for useful genetic blueprints. So if it needs, say, a way to resist some new poison in the environment, it can just borrow a gene for that. If it needs to fix damage from radiation, it can find and steal a gene for that too. It's basically giving itself DNA patches and upgrades on the fly. Now, as amazing as the rotifer is, it's not totally alone. It's actually part of this super exclusive club of organisms called extremophiles, basically the toughest life forms on Earth. And you can see some of its club members right here. You've got nematodes, also known as roundworms, which are also absolute pros at surviving being frozen for ages. And then, of course, there's the celebrity of the group, the tardigrade or water bear. This little creature is so tough, it can literally survive in the vacuum of outer space. Okay, 1,000 times. 1,000 times what, exactly? It refers to the amount of UV radiation.
See, back in 2007, the European Space Agency sent some tardigrades into orbit on the outside of the spacecraft. They were totally exposed to the vacuum of space and got blasted with cosmic rays and UV radiation that was 1,000 times more intense than anything here on Earth's surface. And the result? When they got back, most of them just kind of woke up and went right back to making more tardigrades. No big deal.
So, this is where it all comes together. Why does any of this matter to us? Why should we care about these tiny, nearly indestructible creatures? Well, because their survival secrets could be the blueprint for some massive breakthroughs for humanity.
I mean, could we find a cure for aging? Could we copy their cellular repair tricks to stop the protein damage that makes our own bodies get old?
What about preserving organs forever? Could we use what we learned from cryptobiosis to freeze donor organs perfectly? Maybe even getting rid of transplant waiting lists for good.
And then there's the big one, journeys to the stars. Is it possible that the key to suspended animation for those super long voyages to other solar systems is hidden inside these tiny animals? And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. Scientists are already working on real-world ideas based on these creatures. We're talking about developing new drugs that protect our cells from damage, just like those chaperone proteins. We're talking about completely changing how we preserve organs for transplants and getting a much deeper understanding of how to repair our own DNA. The potential here is absolutely staggering.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. The rotifer, the tardigrade, creatures like these prove that nature has already figured out solutions to problems we think are impossible. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible secrets are out there, just waiting to be discovered?